Tom, I want to turn to you. I want to talk about hush money, right? The trial was supposed to start on Monday. It is not starting on Monday.
That's correct.
Instead, there is going to be a hearing on Monday over these pages, thousands of pages of discovery, in part over these thousands of pages of discovery that were handed over to Trump's attorneys. What are we learning about that?
Right. So it's over 170,000 pages of discovery, and it all centers on one key figure here. Now, prosecutors will say they're documents of the star witness. Others have said Michael Cohen is the star witness. And as it pertains to Michael Cohen, this has to do with the federal investigation into Michael Cohen and campaign finance violations that he pleaded guilty to in connection with those hush money payments. And so what happened is, approximately a year ago, from January through March of last year, the Manhattan DA's office says, hey, we have discovery requirements. We have to give Donald Trump's attorneys a whole slew of documents, including documents, U.S. Attorney's Office, which you may have that may be helpful to the defense. That's just something that we have to do. Right. And they requested a number of different things. Subsequently, Donald Trump's attorneys in January of this year asked for and received a subpoena for more information from the U.S. Attorney's Office. As a result of that subpoena, a ton more documents were handed over, 170,000 plus pages. And folks last week had a lot of questions. Why is the Southern District of New York, the federal prosecutors, why are they just handing this over now? And the Manhattan DA's office said they requested this information. More details today in the filing. According to the DA's office, they say 270 pages of this 170,000 are actually material and relevant to the case. And of those 270, just 270, they say. And of those 270, 172 pages have to deal with FBI 302 form reports. Those are the notes that FBI agents make after they interview somebody, that it's those notes pertaining to the special counsel's investigation into Russian interference, not the campaign finance violations that Southern District turned over. They had previously asked for those. They're accurate in that. But at the time they asked for it, the Southern District didn't have those documents. It wasn't until they got involved in a FOIA issue going between departments within the Department of Justice that Southern District had it. They turned those over. In addition, there were 5 iPhones, or copies, images they call them, of Michael Cohen's phones. At the time that they were requested from the Manhattan DA's office, the U.S. Attorney's Office said, look, you want us to comb through, imagine, 5 phones of information to find something that's relevant to the DA's case? They said, wait a minute, you guys have the phones anyway. We're not going to respond to it. They said, look, given the nature of this case, yes, we have 5 images of Michael Cohen's phones that are tied to the federal investigation. So the federal prosecutors from the Southern District of New York said, look, we'll turn those over. So obviously that's another significant component of these 170,000 plus documents, as well as bank records. If you look at the subpoena from Trump's attorneys, bank records. I mean, it's been a long time since I've printed out my bank records. You know, most of us look at them online. But remember how long those used to be. And then when you consider the amount of bank accounts and banks that Michael Cohen did business with, obviously those would be voluminous, the types of records that be gobbled up in a federal investigation. So that's where we are today. We'll wait and see what Trump's side says. This is the central and core issue. Who asked for what and when, what was produced and when, that we're going to talk about on Monday. I won't be able to tell you, though, what both sides are saying about this, likely on Monday, because of a rule the judge imposed. None of the press organizations are allowed to see filings until 48 hours afterwards to give both sides a chance to redact. So we're flying a little bit blind, potentially, into that hearing on Monday.
Perfect.